Good morning. My name is Todd Ronan from Reality Forecast, and you can find me on the web at Reality Forecast on YouTube or www.realityforecast.com if you're interested in remote viewing classes. Today is April 17th, 2023, and I'm joined with Liz Cross. Liz, good morning.
Good morning. We just did an amazing CTT session this morning. If you're not coming to the CTT group every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Central, I'm sorry to say you guys are missing out. I mean, would you agree with that, Ronan?
You can find that by visiting the web on YouTube, Consciousness Transformation Technique 765, and look for that. And then you can sign up for that. Tap along with us if you can make it in the morning, but please make sure you subscribe and like and share Liz's videos so that other people can enjoy them. But we're really trying to gain the followership on that Consciousness Transformation page. So please go there now and check it out.
All right. What do you have for us today? I have no idea who Gilgamesh is.
Gilgamesh is a legendary king from Mesopotamia who ruled around 2700 BC. And we'd like to bring him in and find out if he was a real person, a mythological person, or some type of construct, or an alien.
Ooh, got to throw in the alien. All right, so let me grab Gilgamesh. Okay, I have Gilgamesh here.
Hello, sir. How are you?
Good, thank you, Ronan. Doing well.
Can you tell us about any supernatural powers that you had and if you did, how did you acquire them?
Can you tell us about any supernatural powers that you had? He didn't have any.
How did you become such a renowned warrior and leader? And did you receive any special training or guidance from anybody else?
How did you become such a renowned warrior and leader? I was appointed. So I do feel like Gilgamesh was real. I feel like there was a lot of hype around Gilgamesh in order to scare the masses. I do feel that there was some sort of ability there. What's coming through is there was some black magic and some, magic ability. And that was scary to a lot of people during the time. What was the time period for Gilgamesh?
Around 2700 BCE.
Oh.
You were claimed as a great builder and architect. Are those stories true or are they fables?
Are those stories true that you were a great builder and architect? Yes, that is correct. That's true.
You created the walls and the ziggurat Etemenaki. Can you tell us about your skills in construction and how you learned to possess those?
Your skills and your construction for your walls. Yeah, he was the designer. He was very good at physics, right? He was very good at figuring out flow, energy, what feels good. And so he would test, I feel like he had a pendulum. So I don't know how long pendulums have been around. I don't know the history of pendulums, but he had a pendulum and that's what his technique was. He would use a pendulum to sort of gauge how things would work out. Have you heard of him using a pendulum before?
No, we have not. So did you use that for your own personal inspiration and divination processes?
Yes. Use the pendulum for everything. And he believes he was very good with the pendulum.
Just practice, or did you get tutoring from the priest elders above you?
Did you get tutoring on how to use it from the priest elders? No, from sort of like a medicine man. And no, it came very natural to Gilgamesh.
Can you describe any experiences in your life that you had that were connections with extraterrestrials?
Ooh, can you describe any experiences that you had or connections you had with extraterrestrial? He always knew that there were alien beings out there, but he really tried to keep that information to himself because that could threaten his life. But he believes that he would ask his pendulum about other beings out there in the universe, out there in the stars, as he put it, in the sky, and he would get answers. So he believes he was like channeling aliens through his pendulum.
Hmm. Did you actually embark upon a quest to discover the secret of immortality? And if so, what did you learn on that journey? Or was that also a fable about your reign?
Okay, so let's ask that again. I'm sorry.
Did you embark upon a journey to seek out immortality in your
You
lifetime?
upon a journey to seek out immortality in your lifetime. Yes, that is correct. He believed that there was a way to live forever, and also whoever he worked with or worked for wanted that. Wanted to be like supreme leader or whatever for forever. Never wanted to die. Never wanted to give up that leadership.
What did you learn on that journey?
What did you learn on that journey? That it's impossible. There was no answer.
We had this come through in CTT this morning for those of you that didn't join us, but the solution for immortality is that the immortality exists in our soul and not in our physical bodies.
Mhm.
Where did that journey lead him though? What other things did he discover on that, if not his answer?
Where did that journey lead you? Well, I feel like it led him through some ancient lost civilizations. They discovered like ghost towns, or where there once was people present, and that these people were no longer, and he wanted to know what happened to them, and he was like documenting and mapping out this journey to let whoever put him on this journey, which I believe is some leader, put him on the journey, and to report his findings. And he kept looking for water sources and magic. Where is the magic? And he was using his pendulum. That is why they thought that he was this divine sort of leader, that he was this divine being, because he was being led through his pendulum. And I'm saying, would you consider yourself a psychic in that lifetime? And he goes, yes, according, in that lifetime, for that time period, the fact that he knew how to use this pendulum or dowsing rods, or what did you use, dowsing rods? No, he's saying a pendulum. That he used this pendulum, that deemed him as this like wonderful person with all of these abilities.
Wow. What else did he find out about some of those? If you can choose one civilization or maybe the technological advancements they had that he found on his journey, what would you like to share about their story?
Did you find any technological advancements? Yeah, so he took back a lot of the architecture. He also had a photographic memory as well. So he would take back a lot of the architecture, a lot of the ideas from these lost civilizations. They had a few hairy moments on their travels as well. I feel like there were times when they had to run away. They were being like attacked and things like that. So that was all a big adventure. And they also got lost. But they managed to find their way back eventually. I feel like this journey was a couple of years, or it wasn't a short journey. This was a very, very long journey.
Was this before or after he was the ruler?
Is this before or after you were the ruler? Before.
What message or advice do you have for humanity based upon your experiences as a legendary hero and ruler?
What advice do you have for humanity based upon your experiences as a legend and a ruler? Well, that you should never give up on your quest of discovery, because you may not find the ultimate answer that you're looking for, but what you will find is yourself. Wow. That's very true.
What will your next incarnation be?
What were you on? He's already reincarnated like 300 times since this
Wow.
lifetime. And were you ever a ruler again since this Gilgamesh lifetime? No, he was never able to rule ever again. He had a lot of poverty stricken lifetimes after that. He was also enslaved after that as well, imprisoned, falsely accused. He was killed, executed, and he also fought in World War I.
While he's here, there's a story of there's this prism that was uncovered, and it lists pre-flood or antediluvian rulers. And I wondered if he can submit any knowledge about those antediluvian rulers. Did they really reign for 26,000 years, or is it a misprint? And I can give you names of some of them if you want.
What are they called?
Antediluvian rulers that reigned like in tens of thousands of years.
So what does that mean exactly?
Pre-flood.
Thank you. Antediluvian rulers that, yes, you believe that they existed? No, that's a myth.
It's a myth.
That's a myth that they ruled for many years, like one person, or that
Like one person ruled for 26,000 years. One person ruled for, they were called shars. And so one shar equaled like, I don't know how many years, but there were a couple rulers there that ruled for over 10, 20,000 years in a single reign.
That's a myth. That's a myth. I mean, they did discover a lot of ancient civilizations or that were no longer, but they also found like jewels and gold and things that are of value, and they took those back. They hauled a lot of stuff back, but as far as like finding that somebody ruled for that length of time, there was no evidence to support that. That's a myth.
Thank you very much. That was much closer to the source. Mr. Gilgamesh, thank you so much for joining us. Best wishes to you and your family, sir.
Yeah. He, I feel like his next reincarnation is really close. Where are you going to reincarnate now? Are you going to be in the West? No, he's not in the West. He's like, I'm choosing to go to India this time. I quite like it there. I like the amount of learning I can have there. So I feel like his reincarnation time is coming up pretty soon.
Can you suggest tips people can use to remember their own past lives, or should those virtues and things that we learn be left in the past?
So the most important things from the past life, that was a good question, Ronan. So the most important things about those past lives is that they're imprints on our soul, and the most important experiences will be imprinted on our soul. The day-to-day stuff is pretty much dropped, but we do carry those experiences with us. But the conscious mind wipes those. So wipes the connection. Does it wipe the connection? No, I'm not saying it right. Sorry. What do you mean? The conscious mind. So the conscious mind is like a clean slate when you come down, and slowly those things from the soul, for whatever is unresolved. And again, we touched on that in CTT this morning. This is just further confirmation, but whatever is unresolved, will engage with the conscious mind and the present lifetime to bring about those experiences yet again. Most of the day-to-day stuff like that we worry about, that's the thing he's saying. We worry about like paying bills and how we're going to live and, money and survival. And a lot of those experiences are just faded energy. The energy just fades out and lays dormant from those experiences. It's the real, fight or flight experiences, what we're thinking right at the moment that we die, or difficult relationships, or, those are the types of experiences that we carry in the soul with us.
I guess one final question is, what do you see as how does it make you feel knowing that the Epic of Gilgamesh and your story and your travels are told 4,000 years later?
The Epic of Gilgamesh, travel 4,000 years later. How do you feel about that? He feels honored. What a great honor to be remembered in this way. And, but do you actually know in your, okay, let's ask, I'm sorry, I have to ask this question. So since that lifetime, have you actually ever come across your own story? Yeah, several times. Did you ever realize that it was you? Not exactly, but could identify with Gilgamesh. So there were a lot of traits that he carried forward past the Gilgamesh lifetime that he could feel like deeply soul connected, deep connection on a soul level with Gilgamesh. Wow, I like him, or I'm a lot like him. That just brings forward, and Spirit just says, ask this question, Liz. I wonder if Hitler, when Hitler reincarnates, will read about his story and how he would feel, he or she would feel, because I believe we got that Hitler's coming back in as this female and in Norway or Sweden somewhere. I did a video on that yonks ago. I wonder how Hitler would feel, in the new lifetime reading about himself. But the thing is, we're completely detached from that, right? You and I, Ronan, we could have been somebody in a previous lifetime, and we read about these people and we learn about these people, and yet we don't even remember consciously to that lifetime. But Gilgamesh is saying, if it tugs on your soul, sometimes you can feel that tugging, and then just know that you may have had connection to that person, or you were that person, or you were living in the time of that person.
Yeah, just a quick anecdote for folks. There was a touring Tutankhamun exhibit in Detroit. And so I went to the Detroit Institute of Art and was walking through thinking that I would have an affinity for all these items because I was interested in Egyptology. And I had this, oh, it's going to be great. But so many of the things that they brought were not real. They were fake. But I got to the last room of the exhibit and I was drawn or pulled into this display cabinet on the far side of the room. And it had two small salt and pepper shakers that were from King Tut's grandma and grandpa. And I felt in my heart the draw and the pull to those objects. Like they were the most real things in the exhibit. And they were so innocuous and there was splendor and gold all around. And I was drawn to these salt and pepper shakers. I knew that they were real in my heart.
Okay. So I have an answer for you for that. Are you ready?
Okay.
Drum roll. It could be a little lackluster, but one of your past lives around the 1800s, you were actually an archaeologist and you were working in this area. Okay. You were an archaeologist of sorts. You were looking, you were mapping, you were doing these things, and you would come across small objects. You weren't so much interested in the gold, right? What I'm pulling through is, yeah, that didn't really interest you. It was more about how they lived and what sort of indicators were there out there, like the objects that they used, that would align with our lifetime today. Now, does that make sense to you?
Join us next time on a stirring Indiana Ronin adventure through the history of archaeology and anthropology with Todd Ronin and Liz Cross. Thanks so much, Liz. It's good talking to you, and
You too.
love everybody very much.
Bye.